there's still a lot of art around, but I'm definitely not in my studio. I'm actually in my kitchen at the moment because somebody very special is turning 20 this weekend, and so I want to make her something very special. Only I definitely need some of my skills from the art studio to do this.
So today I'm swapping out my studio for my kitchen because my kitchen is another place I love to create in. I'm still going to be painting, only today I'm swapping out my paints for some food colorings. I'm still going to be painting flowers, only I'm not going to be painting on a canvas or in my sketchbook. I'm going to be painting on a cake. And I thought I'd take you along for the journey. You see, it's my daughter Amy's 20th birthday this weekend, and a bit chaotic going on behind me here. We've got a big celebration, we've got a big party here this evening for her friends, and on Sunday I have a big family lunch, a big family celebration, so I need 2 lots of birthday cakes this weekend. And the one for this evening, Amy's prerequisite was simply, Mum, cover it in flowers. So easy peasy when you love flowers as much as me, I'm going to be painting a flower cake for her today. So same but different. Studio, painting, flowers, kitchen, cakes, painting, flowers. So I thought I would take you along for the journey. Let's paint a flower cake for Amy's 20th birthday. But first of all, we need a cake. So the cakes are out of the oven and busy cooling. And while they're cooling, I am going to start mixing up some icing. But this is where the fun bit starts, because this is a bit like preparing paint for a painting. Just like I would get out my colors on my palette and mix the colors I need for a painting. Well, I'm going to be mixing up a palette this time, but using icing. Same color mixing principles apply, but let's mix up some beautiful colors to paint some flowers. We have an iced cake all done and ready, and here's a big bowl of icing, and now I'm going to mix up my palette. I've got my little bottles of food coloring here, and my paint palette is simply a little bit of baking paper that I've taped down to my tabletop, and this is where I'm going to mix my colors so that we can paint on the cake. I always use palette knives to work with when I'm icing the cake. So just like you would create a painting with a palette knife, I use palette knives to ice the cakes with. So I have a little bit of blue icing here from a cake that I did the other day for somebody. And I'm going to see, I don't actually need any, this has just come out of my freezer. I kept it because I knew I was going to be baking today. And I need some green for the leaves of the flowers. So I am going to do a little bit of color mixing here. Not quite sure if this will work, but good old color mixing principles, yellow and blue makes green. So let's see how we go. Whoops, oh goodness, that was a whole lot of yellow. Let's see if we can get a nice green color that I can use for the leaves. Okay, that's gone really limey green, but I can definitely use that. Like lime. So just as if I was mixing palette paint for my palette, if I was painting, I'm mixing icing here, and same color mixing principles apply. Now that looks a little bit brown almost because I have quite a bit of yellow in there. So I'm just taking a bit of the white icing and I'm mixing it back in just to try and bring it back. Oh yes, there we go. Now we're getting a nice vibrant green that I can use for the leaves. And I do want one that is slightly darker, so let's get it all together. There's one lot of green. I'm going to take some of the green and I'm going to add just a little bit extra of this blue into it. And let's see if I can get a slightly deeper tone or even a nice turquoisey tone, just so that I've got some variation in the leaves. What I'm wanting is I'm wanting more than one color to paint with essentially. So more than one tone of green is actually the word I'm thinking of. I'm going to grab a little bit more of the white icing and I'm going to make that just ever so slightly green. So make a nice light green here. A bit of that green. So I'm just color mixing. I'm just using my icing and mixing up various tones of color like I would exactly the same as I would do if I was painting. So there I've got 3 tonal variations of a green that I will be able to use for the leaves. Now we need some beautiful pinks for the flowers. So I have my greens going here. I'm going to get started with some pink. I have a nice big blob of buttercream icing. And I'm going to just pop a little bit of pink food coloring into that. Now I'm going to make quite a deep pool of pink to start off with, and then I will lighten it from there. So let's just get a, oh, that is going to be a really intense pink. So we've got a nice base coat to start with. That is a really, really bright pink. And now that I have that pink, what I will be able to do now is take little bits of that pink and mix other tones. So we know that pink and green are almost complementary because of red and green. So I want to see if I pick up just a little bit of the green icing and let's see what it does to the pink. It's going to neutralize it a little bit, I'm sure. Yep, there we go. Neutralizing it a little bit so that it's not such a sickly sweet pink color. Let's pick up just a little bit more of the plain white icing. And I want to get a soft pink color going here, but I don't necessarily want it sickly sweet, almost like what I would call Barbie pink. Anyway, I'm going to stop chatting for a little bit and I'm going to get mixing here because I'd like to get this cake iced as soon as possible. So all I'm doing is I'm finding some variations of the pink so that I can have some darks, midtones and light pinks, just like I've done with the green. And I also have a little violet tone here. I might experiment with a bit of that as well. I pretty much have my painting palette ready to go. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love these colors. Have you ever heard when somebody is mixing paint, they turn around and say, paint looks juicy? Well, this really does look juicy. And I can't wait to paint with it. So I have all beautiful colors here that I would normally use for my paintings. I've got a nice variation, tonal variation of pinks, from lights to darks to shadowy colors. Then I've got a nice variation of my greens, and I love a little bit of this turquoise green. I think I want to lighten that one green just a little bit more, and to take just a little bit more of the plain white butter icing and get that just a little bit lighter, just to create a little bit more tonal variation from darks to lights. And now I'm ready to start painting some flowers onto the cake. So I have a birthday cake for Amy. I hope she's going to like it. Happy 20th birthday, my darling. I love you lots. Happy birthday to you.
The cake didn't last 5 minutes, and just for giggles, I thought I would end off with sharing a little blooper. Ross walks into the kitchen while I'm filming, and I'll show you what happens when you leave your camera in the kitchen while teenagers are busy partying.
Ross, come and say hello to your mum. Why not?
Yeah.
Come and say hello to your mum. Give me a kiss.